Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I wanted to briefly talk in a quick video about the new Sylvan Watchers faction and how that's going to affect the faction wars coming up. And this information is kind of based on what they did somewhat recently, 6 months to a year ago with the Shadowkin faction. So we'll see right now with Sylvan Watchers, there's not a lot of champions out. Of course, it is brand new. And so we have 4 legendaries, we have a handful of epics, and we have this one rare. And of course, right now, their crypt is not open. We cannot go start making progress towards this. We can't get those stars. And more importantly, the number of stars to get Lydia has not moved. However, it will once that crypt opens. Once this crypt becomes available, the number of stars required to get Lydia is going to move up by 63 stars. So you're going to need to get stages 1 through 21, just like here, all the way up 3-starred on all of that for the Sylvan Watchers. However, this isn't likely to happen soon. When the Shadowkin faction came out, they took, I think it was 3 or 4 months between the release of the Shadowkin faction and the release of the faction crypts for it, giving us a chance to have a handful of legendary, epic, and rare champions available to, maybe the average player prior to those crypts releasing. So I believe before the crypt released, Yossi's Fusion had already been released. Ninja had already came from the free login reward. There was something else I'm forgetting that was a guaranteed champion or 2 that came out of the epics. And of course, then there was a couple of rares compared to the Sylvan Watchers. Right now we have 1 rare champion only. And you see not very many epics and legendaries. And nothing that has been guaranteed so far other than this Ornn that is for a fusion. So most people won't end up with that champion if they attempted to get the current fusion event. So what does that mean for preparation for your faction wars? Well, the first thing you want to do, of course, is if you have the opportunity to get one of these Sylvan Watchers, it's going to be who knows which of these 2 options. But if you have the option to get one of them, it's going to be a decent value to do it so that you at least have a minimum 5 champions when this faction releases so you can start making progress. Even if you can't go all the way down, when the Shadowkin crypt actually opened, I think I was able to get to like 18 or 19 right away because I had a handful of decent champions and I had some of them geared and some preparation for that. Additionally, Plarium gave us a little bit of heads up as to roughly how long it was going to be. So at some point in time, we should expect an announcement that will say, okay, in 3 months or in 2 months, this new faction crypt will be open. And at that point in time, hopefully you have a handful of these. I won't end up having any Ornns because all 4 of mine are going to go towards the fusion. I do have this Duoden that I got from a recent poll. I have a video up on that one. It's a pretty good champion. The rare I may or may not have, but it's not a super big deal. I'm probably not going to put a lot of resources into the rare. I will wait to put resources into epics and legendaries that I may use elsewhere if possible. And one other thing to consider when preparing for this faction war is your accessories. So you'll see that I don't have a lot of accessories yet for the Sylvan Watch. I think this is every type. Yep. I have 2. And I have actually made a mistake, most likely seeing this. I didn't think I had missed it. But having possibly sold some of the Sylvan Watchers, the lower end accessories that I normally would sell for another faction, but for these I should possibly keep because I want to make sure that when it's time to start gearing, I can at the very least put 1 in each spot for each of my 5 champions, or maybe just the 2 spots if I don't take them to 6-star right away, so that I can make early progress on that new faction crypt. So quick TLDR summary of that. I'm going to go in reverse order. When you're doing your spider runs, keep Sylvan Watchers accessories that you might not normally keep, just to make sure that you have something available when it is time to start gearing. hold on to whatever champions you can get for this faction, even if they aren't as good as you would normally keep. You know, if you get a rare that you don't need for the fusion or an epic, you know, save it, hold it, make sure you have at least 5 champions, and then you can start getting rid of the lesser ones as you get more, because you're going to want to have something available for this faction crypt when it opens, particularly if you don't already have Lydia. If you already have Lydia, you can kind of progress at your own pace, because it's not going to matter other than the handful of rewards that you get for completing each milestone of that. There will be a few more of the star rewards to get, but they aren't going to be near as important as, say, this Lydia here was. So just being ready to make progress isn't a big deal if you already have Lydia, but if you don't, keep in mind the stars are going to move, the number is going to go up, and you will have to progress more. So if you're on the cusp, if you are close to Lydia, push to get it now, as it will make it easier to do, so you won't have to start a new faction. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had for this. Just wanted to give a couple of tips and a little bit of insight as to what's likely to happen for this new faction. Again, this has been an alternate image raid video. If you like this kind of information, if you really like, sub. If you think I messed something up, if there's another point about what happened with the Shadowkins that I missed, definitely leave it in the comments. That's not clickbait, obviously. It's been months. It's been maybe a year since that happened, so I don't remember it perfectly, most likely. Let me know if I messed something up. And then if you dislike the video, of course, smash the dislike button, as it's still engagement for the channel. And as always, have a great day.